Welcome to the Coin Curiosity channel. I am Redacted 9line. We're going to be reviewing some wheat ear reverse small cents. So we had pulled these out of some older blue Whitman books that came from the mid 20th century coin collection purchase. And we do have quite a bit of wheat ears. So not only do we have what's in front of us, these are only the decade of the 1950s, but we also have 40s, and then the 30s, 20s, teens, and a few, or a couple, two 1909s. And we will see if any of those 1909s are the VDB penny. But the Lincoln wheat ears reverse were in production from 1909 to 1958. And you had two different varieties. You had the bronze composition from 1909 to 1942, and then it was resumed again in 1944 to 1958. The missing year, the 1943, is the variety 2, and that was the steel wheat cent. We do have a few of those in the 40s decade that we will be looking at. So there are a few right there. And the composition that we will be looking at is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The diameter was 19 millimeters with a plain edge, and they were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and the San Francisco Mint. So let us go ahead and work our way in reverse order from the earliest, or to the the most recent to the oldest. So we have 1958 Denver. There's that wheat ear reverse. Just shy of 801 million minted, and you can have a value between the face value and $150. Here is a second 1958 Denver. There are no known major varieties to these wheat cents for the 1958 Denver. Of course, you always want to do a cursory glance at the very least to see if you see anything major on them, because one never knows. Now we have a 1958 with a pretty decent rust spot right there in the middle, or just off center from the middle. And the 1958 is known to have a doubled die of verse. So you want to look at the word liberty and in God we trust and the date. I'd already looked at these 1958s, the one in my hand, and we have got one more coming up. They do not have that double die, so we are at 252,525,000, and you have the face value on the low end of 1 penny, potentially up to $400. This still has some good eye appeal to this 1958. Again, there's no doubling on the 1958 Philadelphia version of this specific coin, but you do want to look for that. $1957 Denver, you had over 1 billion that were minted. You can go from 1 penny to $275. I believe most of these wheat ears that we have, we do have pairs of them, so we'll be able to see some good contrast between how they were stored, how they were handled. But here's the second 1957 Denver. Here we have a 1957 Philadelphia, $282,540,000. Your value range is face value to potentially $1,650. And this one still has some good eye appeal. But of course, the buyer can be the judge of that. Second 1957. All right, now we have the 1956 Denver. You do want to look for a secondary or a shadow mint mark on the 1956 Denver. And again, I'd already pre-looked at these. There is no shadow mint mark. So the 1956 Denver, $1,098,000,000 in change, and your potential value range is 1 penny to $325. And here's that second 1956 Denver. In 1956 Philadelphia, $420,745,000. And again, the eye appeal for a few of these Philadelphia coins are pretty good for them being approximately 80 years old. But your value range for the 1956 Philadelphia is 1 cent to $450. This is the second 1956. And it's potentially worth looking at a little bit later. Although I do not believe so, but if these are proofs, some of these Philadelphia wheat ears that have the still good eye appeal, I don't believe so, but we'll do a closer inspection, and if we believe that we have a proof, we will capture that for you, the viewer. All right, 1955 San Francisco, $44,610,000. And your value range is 1 cent to $115. Again, no known major variety to the 1955 San Francisco. $1955 Denver, $563,257,500. You can have a value range up to $550 from 1 cent, of course. This is the second 19 1955 Denver. All right, now we have two 1955s. 1955 Philadelphia is known to have the major double die obverse, that DDO, where you'll have doubling in the date, very prominent, cannot be missed. Now the two 1955s that I have are not that variety, unfortunately. But the mintage is 330,958,200, and you can have a value range from 1 cent up to $650. Here's the second 1955. $1954 San Francisco. Wheat ears reverse. 96,190,000. 1 cent. Up to $115. $1954 Denver. 251,552,500. Potential max value of $450. Second 1954 Denver. Little rust spot, some patina. To the left of Lincoln's head, right underneath the word God, for the motto, "In God We Trust." 1954 Philadelphia, 71,640,050 were minted, and you could have a potential max value of $6,500 for a 1954 Philadelphia. That one didn't really look that good, and we do not have a second one, but we do have next up the 1953 San Francisco. 181,835,000. 1 cent to $175 for your value range. Here's a secondary 1953 San Francisco. $1953 Denver, 700,515,000. 1 cent to $500. Another 1953 Denver. Still has some nice red color for the 1953 Philadelphia, 256,755,000. Value range is face value up to $2,000. Starting to see some of the patina. 1953 Philadelphia. All right, a few more left in the 50s decade. 1952 San Francisco. 137,800,004. Potential max value of $150. The second 1952 San Francisco. 1952 Denver, 746,130,000 minted. Value range 1 cent to $300. So we had a few that we did not have doubles on, but for the most part, we do have doubles of all the years in the mint marks in the 50s decade. 1952 Philadelphia, 186,775,000 minted. Potential max value of $1,350. 1951 San Francisco, 136,010,000. Potential max value of $300. (1951) Denver. There is a known major variety of a D over an S. That is the Denver mint mark stamped over the S San Francisco mint mark. This one does not have that variety. The 1951 Denver had a mintage of 625,355,000 with a value range between 1 cent, the face value, of course, and $200. The second 1951 Denver. (1951) Philadelphia, 284,576,000. Your value range is 1 cent to $650. This 1951 is heavily tarnished. I was thinking of damage and tarnish at the same time, but has some significant toning, rust going on. Very dark coin. 1950 San Francisco, 118,505,000. Potential max value of $275. Depending on the grade. 1950 San Francisco. This looks to be in a little bit better shape than the last one. $900. 1950 Denver, 334,950,000. Potential max value of $650. 1950 Denver. There's another little patina spot. And our last two, 1950 Philadelphia, 272,635,000. Value range 1 cent to $850. And if I said last one before, I misspoke. This is the actual last coin that we will be looking at, but same year, same mint mark, 1950 Philadelphia. Some beautiful wheat ears that we were able to pull from the Whitman books. None of these are top coins, but we are happy to have them, and we will put them in with the rest of our collection, with the rest of the wheat ears. I am tongue-tied today, but do appreciate you watching. We'll be back as we go through the 40s decade, and then we will combine the 30s, 20s, teens, and the 1909s, as there are not that many of them. So that is where we will be proceeding. So we have the 40s decade in the back, the 30s, 20s, the teens, and the two 1909s. I have been Redacted 9line for the Coin Curiosity channel. I appreciate you being here with me virtually, watching the video and gaining some knowledge on the mintages and potential values of your wheat ear reverse Lincoln small cents that you may have. We'll catch you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Take care.